Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, I'm Ashley Amethyst, and today's video is part 2 of the series I Am Worthy, or You Are Worthy. And today's video is going to have trigger words for some, and that's because today's video we are going to be talking about sexual abuse. And we are also going to be talking about emotional abuse and physical abuse, but mostly on the topic of sexual abuse. So, if this is not your kind of video, that's perfectly fine with me. In the future, after I'm done with these series, we're going to go back to normal-ish videos, since I don't know exactly what niche I want to be put under, but I just really want to get these out because of, one, it's May, it's mental health awareness, and two, since we've been in quarantine, I've seen a lot of stories on women that are stuck in emotionally and physically and sexually abusive situations, and I just want to have a voice for them to come and hear my story, and hopefully that helps them to be brave and accepting of themselves to walk away. So, let's get into this. The first time it happened, there was a festival at Christmas time called the Festival of the Trees, and I think I was in 8th grade, maybe 9th, and he was a lot older than me, and I think he thought that it was customary, or that if you're in a relationship that it's an automatic yes. And we weren't technically in a relationship because I wasn't allowed to formally date until I was 16, but nevertheless I was a rebel child, obviously. And he forced me to engage in a sexual act that I was young. I didn't exactly know. And when I wasn't doing a good enough job on the sexual act involving my mouth, he proceeded to slam my head down and hold my head down until he relieved himself. And I didn't think much of it as a sexual abuse situation. I just thought, well, maybe he has a kink or maybe he has a fetish. It wasn't until later on in my high school career where the boyfriend I had in high school ended up being very sexually abusive towards me in a lot of ways, and also abusive, and it's like a light bulb clicked, and I wanted to shut it off real quickly, and so I did. I shut it off until about 4 months ago, when I had one of my Facebook people you may know pop up, and it was his face with his wife and his daughter. And I thought back and I was like, that man, he made me think that this was normal. And is he like that with his wife? God, I hope not. That's what I thought. I was like, oh my God. And I felt really lousy, and I got in a really dark space. Yeah. So, like, serious high school boyfriend, was very controlling. He was very abusive. He, first time he was seriously controlling, we got into a fight right around homecoming, and he grabbed my arm so hard that I had bruises here. And I thought that was normal. I had seen my dad do the same thing with my mom. So I thought, okay, that's fine. He got angry with me and I was probably in the wrong to do this. And there was a lot of times when we waited about a year. I actually lost my virginity to him. And we had a very toxic relationship. That's what his sister called it. And now that I look back on it, she was so right. There was so many things that was wrong in our relationship that as an adult I'm looking at it going, how did you, who is a strong girl, or who is a strong person, woman now, deal with that? And I didn't deal with it. I dealt with it in a way that you see a lot of women do. When you see sexual assault, you see a lot of promiscuity afterwards, and that's because then they are in control. And that is something I did. And looking back, I'm very not proud of my past, but you know, it is what it is, and it thankfully didn't get me dead. Could have. But the first time I forced myself to say yes was about a year and a half into our relationship, so about a half of a year. So we lost our virginities to each other an entire year after we started dating. So April 2005? Yeah. And we didn't end up doing anything until August, where I wanted to, but I didn't, and I kind of forced myself to, and it was very painful. Very, very painful for me. And after he left, I just cried in my bathroom, and I cried and I cried and I cried. And I thought, you know what, you love him, so you have to make it work, Ashley. And I put myself in this situation and stayed in that relationship. And there are 2 instances. I thought it was just one, but as I was thinking back on how I was going to film this and everything, I had a realization that it was 2 definitely sexual assault cases that I could bring up towards him. One was when my parents took me to Hawaii for my high school graduation, and I brought my boyfriend. And there was a night where I got a bit intoxicated and went to sleep and woke up to him inside me. I didn't okay that. I did not consent. I still have a problem. To this day it affects me. So, and then the second instance was about 8 months later, 8 or 9 months later, when he was visiting up in Boston where I was going to school, and he was actually helping me move home because I moved home for him. Very controlling relationship there. And I said no that night. I did not want to do it. And I woke up and he was on top of me and he was inside me. And then a light bulb went off and I was like, I'm stuck. I am trapped in a relationship where I love this person, but do I really love them? And it was that day that I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Oh no, it was like August. So it was like a year and a couple months. after the first incident. We moved down, and I ended up really drawing myself away from him. A lot of things took place in that time. A friend that I had just made ended up passing away, and my high school boyfriend called me, and I texted him. I was like, I can't talk right now. I'm at a funeral. And he called like 57 times, and then he proceeded to leave a voicemail saying like, we're done, I'm done, and I don't ever want to speak to you ever again. And there was another incident before them, but this was like the final straw. And he was like, you're a fucking slut, I can't believe I've ever loved you, I don't love you. And it was a terrible message. And I'm literally sitting in a funeral of a friend and comforting my other friends because we were all very close. And he was mad because this friend that died was a boy. So I can't have guy friends now? I can just have friends that you're friends? Like, it clicked then. How in my right mind did I ever date somebody that is so hateful and hurtful as you? And I did something I'm not so proud of, but I got out of the relationship. And I thought I could just close the door on the feelings and just leave them there. In 2009, so this is 2 years later, I am in a relationship that I think is very healthy. And it's nighttime, and he canoodles up next to me, and I feel some pressure, and that door, it just swung open to all my like past trust issues and everything. And I realized I had a problem, that I needed to tell somebody about what had happened. So I told him, and he wanted to murder the guy. But our relationship dissolved, and then I ended up meeting my husband in June of 2011, and we were sitting one night, and I was like, I have to tell you something. He's like, what is it? And I was like, I was raped in my teenage years by my boyfriend. And so we can't do any of that like hanky-panky, you wake me up with sex thing, because it just doesn't work for me. It scares me, and it makes me feel threatened. And it put a damper on our relationship for a little bit there. But we've been together for almost 9 years and almost 7 years married, and I can tell you right now that after a lot of soul searching and going through Freedom Group and the Armor of God and what else one? The prayer one. Battle Plan for Prayer. I did some Bible studies with those. Can you see? I opened up that door and I pulled out all that junk, and I started to heal by actually peeling away the layers of the pain, of the distrust, of the hurt, and finding out that your skin replenishes itself every 7 years. So what happened in 2006 and 2007 and back in 2002 weren't part of the skin I'm in now. And that really opened up a lot for me. That I'm not the same. I am the same woman in the soul, but I'm not the same girl that I used to be. And that was the most healing of everything. So why did I share this? I shared this so that somebody can connect with my story. I shared this so that somebody doesn't feel alone. And I know that this is opening up a can of worms. So if you know the person I'm speaking to or speaking of, please don't rehash the past. Our relationship was toxic from the start to the end. And even though he did these awful things to me, I don't wish him harm, because I know the dynamic of his family. And I think that had a lot to do with the way that he treated me. And he has a wife now. He's got a kid with her. And I don't want him to be looked down upon because of his past actions, even though they are ridiculous. The other one, I could care less. He knew what he was doing and was just... If I showed you a picture, you'd understand, but I'm not going to put him on blast either, since he is a father and a husband. So I know that it seems like I'm protecting my abuser, but I don't think it's protecting. It's more of respecting my soul and my heart and not rehashing things, because I do feel for people, not necessarily the person. So I don't really... High school boyfriend, I don't care about you anymore, but your family, I'm not going to hurt them. And the guy before, I don't care about you at all. I'm not going to hurt your family. I'm not going to share the tea, because that's not who I am. I want to say, though, that if you are in a current abusive relationship with a person, file charges. Especially if you are an adult and they're an adult, they know better. And they need to be held accountable. It may seem that I'm being all wishy-washy, but please understand I'm not. I truly believe that as an adult doing adult things or inappropriate things like sexual assault to another adult or even to a child is rape. It is not okay. It is not, oh, he's just being a kid. It is inappropriate conduct and it needs to be handled. And if you feel stuck in your relationship, like you can't go on, and I can just tell you it gets better. Oh my God, it gets better. I'm living proof it gets better. I went from having a terrible sexual history to meeting the love of my life, to having a baby with him. The baby who's crying right now. But I want to just be there for anybody that needs that person. I'm here for you. And I want to teach you, you are worthy. Even if you say no and somebody forces you, you are still beautiful. You are still intact. You are still worthy of love, of positive, engaging, compassionate love. Don't sell yourself short. You are not worthless. You are not dirty. You are not ugly. You are not broken. You may feel broken right now, but you're not broken. And just, if I could give you a hug, I would, because I let all of this stay in my soul, and I didn't let anybody in. And there were days that I wished that somebody could have just hugged me. But now I'm okay. And you're gonna be okay too, okay? So, I hope that this video resonates and helps you. And I hope that the series helps whoever's out there that's dealing with this hateful people. I hope it helps. We've gotten to the end of this video, and I'm scared to edit it and then post it, but I'm going to, because I want to help people. And if you've gotten to the end of this video and you like this series, please hit the thumbs up. Don't really want to have to put that, but it's important so that I know that what I'm doing is right. And so if you like me, you like this series, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post again, and I will see you in my next video. I love you, you beautiful, beautiful thing.